Hello children, today we are starting with the 9th chapter, Animals Living and Surviving. We animals always adjust to our surroundings to live comfortably and safely. We accept the changes around us and live accordingly. Millions of years ago, we believed that a group of animals called dinosaurs lived on Earth. But now they do not exist. Have you ever thought about the reason? You have heard several stories regarding that. But scientists say that was due to a drastic climatic change. When the climate changed to too cold climate, dinosaurs were not able to withstand that cold climate and they died. We have no evidence for that, but we will believe like that. Usually plants or animals, they adjust to their surrounding changes. This process by which we change ourselves to suit the changes in our surroundings is termed as adaptation. Once again, adaptation means changing ourselves to suit the surroundings, to suit the changes in the surroundings. Normally, animals which are able to change themselves will survive and the others which are not able to accept the changes will die. Each animal lives in its own space, or we can see different animals living in different places on Earth. The natural home of an animal where it lives and grows is called its habitat. It lives, grows, eats, reproduces, everything is done on that place. That natural place is called its habitat, and depending on the habitat, we can classify them as terrestrial animals, aquatic animals, amphibians, aerial animals and arboreal animals. So let us take a look at each type of animals. First we have terrestrial animals. Terrestrial animals are animals which live on land. On land means land is not alike everywhere. We have different types of land. But there are some characteristics or some features of terrestrial animals which are in common. And there are some exceptions also. So first we can learn about the common features of terrestrial animals. Normally terrestrial animals move with the help of their legs. They have very strong legs to carry the whole weight of their body and move. Terrestrial animals breathe through their lungs. That is the breathing or respiratory organ of terrestrial animals. They have well developed sense organs to sense the changes around them faster. And the nervous system is also well developed. This nervous system helps them to live properly, that controls their whole body. The examples are camel, lion, horse, dog, cat, whatever it is, all the animals that live around us. But there are some exceptional cases. We have another group of animals called snakes. Have you seen any snake walking with their legs? No. Snakes have plates or scales under their body which helps them to crawl on the ground. They move in a zigzag manner with the scales or plates under their body. Same way, we have desert animals which live in cold regions like polar bear, arctic foxes and all. They withstand the cold climate with the help of thick furry skin. Fur means the hair-like structures. Just like wearing a woolen cloth, they have fur covered in their body to protect them from the cold climate. And thick layer of fat is stored under their skin which they use it as food in the cold climate. Because they cannot go out of get food, they use the energy from this fat stored under their skin. Because we already studied that fats provide us more energy. So extra fat will be stored in our body, and that happens in polar animals. They have extra thick layer of fat stored under their skin to use as food in cold climate, very cold climate. Next is desert animals. Do they have furry skin? No. They have to protect their body not from cold but from the heat of the sun. So they have thick skin to protect their body from heat of the sun, so that water will not be lost too much due to the heat of the sun. Normally we sweat when we are under the sun. So if they are always under the sun, isn't it? Because there is too much hot climate in deserts. So if they keep on sweating, the whole water content from their body will be lost. So instead they have thick skin and less hair on their body to prevent the loss of water. So these are some common exceptions that we see on land. And there is another group of animals like lizards and frogs which sleep for several months to protect them from cold. They cannot live in cold climate. They are very lazy. So they sleep for the whole cold climate, winter season. And this process is termed as hibernation. What is it? Hibernation. It is the process by which some animals sleep several months to protect them from cold climate. That is called hibernation. So these are some features of terrestrial animals. Let us take a look once again. Terrestrial animals move with the help of their legs. They breathe with the help of lungs. They have well developed sense organs and nervous system. Exceptional cases like snakes, they crawl on the ground with the help of scales. The polar bears have thick skin with fur on their body and thick layer of fat stored under the skin. Desert animals have thick skin and less hair to protect from cold, and some animals hibernate. These are all about terrestrial animals. Now we have the second set. What is it? If we learn about land, we have to learn about animals in water also. So next is aquatic animals. That means the animals that live in water, like turtles, snail, fish. They are all animals living in water. Crabs. They have some common features like fins or limbs help them to swim. Fish, it has fins to swim. Other animals, they have special type of limbs which helps them to push the water back and swim. Duck have webbed feet. See the picture of webbed feet. I have tried to draw it. I don't know whether it is a success or not. So this is a webbed feet. Webbed feet means you will have a flap of skin in between the fingers. You can see a brown color for the fingers and a light brown shade for the flap of skin. In between, see if these are the fingers, you have a layer of skin in between the fingers. That is called webbed feet. And that helps them to push the water back. If you try to push the water with a hand like this, when you push the water back, the water flows through these gaps. So you cannot move forward. So instead, when you are swimming, what will you do? You hold your hand closer. The fingers will be close. Only then we are able to push the water back. So instead, they cannot hold their fingers together, isn't it? So instead, there is a flap of skin given in between their fingers, and that is called a webbed feet. Same way, turtle have paddle-like flippers. Paddle-like means it's a broad thing which helps them to push the water back and swim. Turtle. So these are the main characteristics of aquatic animals. Aquatic animals are animals which live in water. They have limbs which help them to swim in water, and they breathe through their gills. Most of the aquatic animals, they breathe through gills. Gills are special organs which are richly supplied with blood vessels to take in air, to take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide that is dissolved in water. They cannot come up and take carbon dioxide or oxygen and then go. No. They are able to breathe oxygen and carbon dioxide dissolved in water in order to live properly. That is done with the help of special organs called gills. Next is amphibians. Amphibians are a very special type of animals. They live both on land and in water. They have adaptations in their body which helps them to adjust to both the conditions. That means on land and in water. The best example is frog. You have other examples like toad, salamander and all. We can take the example of frog. Frog uses its limbs to push the water back and swim in water. And it uses its legs to jump on land. Frog uses the moist skin to breathe in water, and it uses its lungs when it is on land. So, two breathing organs, gills, and normally we told that in water animals use gills. When a frog is a young one, that means the young one of a frog is called tod, okay? You learned in last chapter. Sorry, tadpole. The young one of a frog is called tadpole. So, tadpole, when it is in water, tadpole normally lives in water. So, tadpole uses its gills for breathing. But when it develops into a normal frog, it loses gills and it starts breathing through its moist skin when it is in water. When it is in land, what happens? It breathes through the lungs. Lungs and gills will not be there in the same animal. So that is why when the frog grows, what happens? Gills are lost and lungs are used to breathe on land. And when it is in water, it uses its moist skin. So this is all about amphibians. It means a group of animals which live both on land and in water. The next type of animal is aerial animals. Aerial animals, as the name suggests, they spend most of their time flying in the air, especially birds and insects. If they need to fly in the air, their body should be lightweight. If their body should be lightweight, the bones should be hollow. So birds have hollow bones and feathers, which makes their body lightweight, which helps them to fly in the air. And they have special organ called wings. Their front legs or hands are modified to wings. Hands are changed to wings, or they adapted themselves by changing an organ into wings so that they can fly in the air. That is suited for their habitat. That is why. They have hollow bones, which makes their body light, and there is a special shape for the birds. The front portion is sharp shape. That shape helps it to cut through the air and fly. So their shape also helps them to fly in the air. So aerial animals are animals which fly. They have hollow bones or light body which helps them to fly in the air. They have wings, and the shape of the body helps them to cut through the air. Bats are the only mammals that can fly. Bats are not birds, they are mammals. We learned in the last chapter, but they are able to fly like birds. Next section is arboreal animals. Arboreal animals are animals like monkeys. They spend most of their time on trees. They have claws to catch hold the branches of trees, and strong hip girdles, hip muscles are strong to support them while they are climbing the tree. And they have long curly tails to hang on the tree. So these features helps them to spend most of their time on trees. These animals are called arboreal animals. So that is all about adaptation of animals or adaptations to environment. Adaptations that they have to change to the changed environment or to suit their environment. Let us take a look at the different types of animals. Terrestrial animals, animals that live on land. Aquatic animals, animals that live in water. Amphibians, animals that live both on land and in water. Aerial animals that live or that fly in air, and arboreal animals that spend most of their time on trees. So read this chapter till arboreal animals and underline the important points. Thank you, children.